Have you ever felt that Japanese is backwards? Or have you ever translated Japanese from the end of a sentence? If you want to keep up with the speed of native Japanese speech, let's not do that again. I'll show you how in this video. Hi, I'm Fumi from Speak Japanese Naturally. If you're interested in learning Japanese, please subscribe to my channel. Today, I will introduce you a method to help you understand Japanese sentences from the beginning in the Japanese word order by parsing them with slashes. A sentence, 昨日私は友達とカフェで2時間日本語の勉強をしました is like saying, Yesterday, I, with a friend at a cafe for 2 hours, Japanese studied. Yesterday comes first in Japanese, then the subject, then with whom, followed by the place, then the duration of time, then the object of the verb, then finally the verb. The order can change, but usually you'll hear additional information first, and what really happened will be at the very end of a sentence. Because of this, English speakers learning Japanese might feel that Japanese is backwards, and that makes understanding Japanese sentences difficult. But you need to get used to the Japanese word order, otherwise you won't be able to keep up the speed of the native Japanese speech. The method I'll introduce you today is called slash reading in Japanese and is commonly used by Japanese learners of English. For Japanese people, English feels reversed, so they tend to translate English sentences from the end to the beginning. But that doesn't work in a real situation because when sentences are long, you get lost easily. So what we do is breaking down sentences into chunks of meaning and grasp the meaning at that point without waiting until the end and start translating from there. This is a method primarily for reading, but it is useful for listening and speaking too, because you'll practice understanding Japanese sentences in the Japanese word order. Now let's see how you do it. Let's look at the sentence from earlier. Let's think about where to insert slashes in the sentence. First, please try dividing it into the smallest chunks. I'll give you 10 seconds. Okay, here it is. The first chunk is 昨日, yesterday. After these kind of words such as 明日, tomorrow, and 今月, this month, can have a break. 私は友達とカフェで日本語の勉強 are all formed with a noun and a particle. In English, prepositions come before nouns, as in at a cafe or with a friend, but in Japanese, they come after a noun forming a single chunk. 2時間 is also a noun, indicating a duration of time. Finally, しました is a conjugated form of the verb する. So when you break down sentences, a slash could come after these parts. However, in this case, these chunks are too small to be meaningful and thus unclear for listeners. So now let's break down the same sentence into larger meaningful chunks. First, please use only a single slash and divide the sentence. This mark, called ten in Japanese, indicates a break here. So this is where we'll put the slash. 昨日私は友達とカフェで2時間日本語の勉強をしました。Now if 友達とカフェで2時間日本語の勉強をしました is still too long, where would you put another slash? 日本語の勉強をしました makes a complete chunk, so it's best to put the slash after 2時間 or カフェで both work. I feel like 友達とカフェで2時間日本語の勉強をしました looks better because it is evenly divided. But of course, it's okay to divide like this. 友達とカフェで2時間日本語の勉強をしました。Or you can even divide like this with one more slash. 友達とカフェで2時間日本語の勉強をしました。Now let's practice understanding the meaning part by part. When you hear 昨日私は you think, oh, this person is talking about yesterday, not today or tomorrow. And when you hear 友達とカフェで2時間 then you imagine that the person with a friend at a cafe for 2 hours. And you can guess that you will hear what they did at the cafe. Like this, you'll mentally prepare what you'll hear next. Then the person says, 日本語の勉強しました. So you'll know what they did. Here, there's a possibility of hearing 勉強しませんでした. But unless asked, 友達とカフェで2時間勉強しましたか? They wouldn't say 友達とカフェで2時間勉強しませんでした. So you can logically assume that they will say 勉強しました. So it's important to imagine the context and grasp the meaning at the point, part by part, from the beginning of a sentence. This parsing will help you understand Japanese sentences in the Japanese word order. Let's move on to the next sentence. Where would you insert slashes in this sentence? First, insert one slash. It's easy. It's after 10. 私は毎日散歩をしていますが、昨日は暑すぎたので行きませんでした。Now let's insert two more. Where do they go? The first ones go like this. 私は毎日散歩をしていますが or 私は毎日散歩をしていますが either is fine. The second one goes after ので because this part shows the reason and makes one meaningful phrase. Now I read it and add the translation part by part. 私は毎日 I every day 散歩をしていますが go for a walk but 昨日は暑すぎたので yesterday was too hot so 行きませんでした I didn't go. I'll read the sentence again and this time I won't say the translation so please try to understand the meaning part by part. 私は毎日散歩をしていますが昨日は暑すぎたので行きませんでした。Now on to the next sentence. It's a conversation. Please insert 2 slashes for A's part and 3 slashes for B's part. A's part has 10, so the first slash goes after it. 髪が濡れてるけど雨降ってる can be divided as 髪が濡れてるけど雨降ってるけど indicates an end of a chunk. For B's part, ちょっと降ってる。傘がなかったから濡れちゃった。The first slash goes after 10. Then the second one goes after 丸。This mark is called 丸, which means period. It indicates it's the end of the sentence. The third one goes after から because you can tell it's the end of the explanation. Now I'll read it, so please try to understand the meaning part by part. あれ?髪が濡れてるけど雨降ってる?ちょっと降ってる。傘がなかったから濡れちゃった。Now you know how to break down sentences. What you'll practice next is how to say these sentences. When you say them, pitch, accent, and intonation matter. Pitch accent is the change in pitch within a single word, whereas intonation is the change across a full sentence. Let's take the first sentence, for example. First, let's check the pitch accent for each word. If you're not familiar with the names of pitch patterns, please watch this video, or you don't have to know the names. I'll show the pitch accent with lines, so look at them and listen to my accent. 昨日 is a Heiban accent pattern when it's used as an adverb like this. 昨日 Watashi and tomodachi are Heiban too, so the particles after them are said hi too. So 私は友達とカフェで is 頭高 so it's カフェで2時間 is 中高2時間時間 is 平板 when stand alone, but 2時間 is a compound word, so the pitch accent changes. 日本語 and 勉強 are 平板, so the particles after them are said hi. 日本語の勉強を Finally, しました All the mashita conjugations have the same pitch accent. Ma is high and shita is low, so the verb itself starts low. しました The accent pattern of mashita is worth remembering because you can apply it to all the verbs with mashita. Now let's think about the intonation. If you don't emphasize any part, usually the first part is high and it gradually goes down. 昨日私は友達とカフェで2時間日本語の勉強をしました。昨日 is the highest and ました is the lowest. But when you put a pause, after a pause, the tone starts high again. In this case, 昨日 is a little bit higher than 私は。友達と is higher than 2時間 and 日本語 is higher than しました。昨日私は友達とカフェで2時間日本語の勉強をしました。By the way, if you want to emphasize 2時間, you say 2時間 hi. 昨日私は友達とカフェで2時間日本語の勉強をしました。昨日私は友達とカフェで2時間日本語の勉強をしました。Now the video is getting longer, so let's finish here. If you'd like to practice more, please join my subscription course, Speak Japanese Naturally. I have more practices there. Furthermore, you'll be able to learn about Japanese pronunciation, rhythm, pitch, accent, and intonation, which helps you sound natural when speaking in Japanese. I'd love to have you in my course. That's it for today's video. If you like it, please hit the like button. And thank you for the comments. They really encourage me a lot. Today, I'd like to introduce this comment. It's from Jedi-san. Thank you for citing Natsume Soseki. I read his Botchan. It was so good. Also purchased his Kokoro and a few other books but didn't read those. Didn't know about Kusamakura. Thank you for the introduction. ジェダイさん、ありがとうございました。Botchan is sure to be a fun read. And Kokoro is the most famous book by Natsume Soseki because it's included in the high school textbooks. So everybody reads it in class. It's a depressing story though. And does anybody know about the word tsundoku? Tsundoku is the behavior of buying books and letting them pile up without reading them. So Jedi-san's case, Kokoro is his tsundokubon. I love this word, so I'll introduce it in a future video. Have a wonderful day, everyone. See you in the next video.